guys asked if there was any alternative to creating 3D flowers with Gaffrey paint. And I actually had a little bit of modeling paste and gel medium, and I was really happy to use it and create this video for you guys. I also used a little bit of my heavy textured paints from Sennelier, and I used my piping tips. Let's get into this video and I will teach you how you can make hydrangeas without using Gaffrey art materials. So first we are starting off with a modeling paste, and this one is from Artist Loft. I also have my two colors that I'm going to be painting with today, and these are from Sennelier. They are a very heavy textured paint, and they also have a very matte finish. I'm going to be using tip number 124, and I'm going to create a mixture that I have never used before, and that is going to be the base for my hydrangeas. So when I first started making this video, I wasn't entirely sure how it was going to work out, which is why I didn't show you at first that I am also going to be using this heavy gloss gel. Now, gloss gel does have a glossy finish, so I thought it would be a good choice to add it to my very matte mixture that I already had created. And I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now, I love the finished result, and I didn't have any cracking or anything like brittle flowers or anything like that. It was super cool. I loved it a lot, and I highly recommend this mixture. So my two colors for today are going to be a kind of chartreuse green and then a very pigmented but a little bit neutral lavender. And these colors together are absolutely beautiful. They are not colors I've worked with very often, but I decided in this video I'm going to be very experimental, and I'm going to try cool stuff. Since I am teaching you a new technique, I figured I might as well teach myself a couple new things as well. And here I'm just cutting up some parchment paper so I have some squares to pipe my hydrangeas onto. You can also use acetate paper. You can also use acetate plastic as well. And I find it's very helpful for me when I'm piping these hydrangeas to kind of think of them as a square. So I kind of divide the circle up into four blocks, and then I try to create my petals into those blocks. And that's just because in the past I've sometimes made the petals a little bit too wonky, or like one of them's like way too big, and then it just throws off the whole, the whole flower. So that's just one of the things that I like to do to kind of keep myself on track. And you can see as I'm piping, I'm getting more and more of that green coming through in the center of the flower, which I absolutely love, and that is exactly what I was going for, and it just looks so pretty. I also tried to create a couple more interesting shapes for my hydrangeas, because they're all kind of going to be stacked on top of each other and around one another. So I wanted to create a couple different shapes so that I could create the most interesting effect as possible. I don't remember exactly how many hydrangeas I made, but it felt like a lot. And I did not use them all on this painting, but I had just miscalculated exactly how much paint to mix, as I often do. And then I had extra flowers left over, which I used in an upcoming video that I'm going to show you, and it's pretty cool. So Here I'm just unwrapping my canvas. You can see my hydrangeas in the background are looking nice and dry. It did take them about 5 or 6 days to dry. It is a little bit longer. Okay, it's significantly longer than it takes Gaffrey paint to dry. But in the long run, if you've got time, like, this is not a bad alternative. It's just different. And then I wanted to create a white border around the outside of my canvas, so I just used some painter's tape, and I didn't want it to bleed on the edges, so I used my scraper to flatten it. I'm using a sand medium, some black, some chartreuse, and some white to create a background. I did forget that I was shooting a video that is not for or not about the Gaffrey paints, so forgive me, but don't worry, it's just for the background and it is not creating any structural changes. And it is very loud and scratchy. I kind of like the sound of it, so if you don't, I apologize. You can just fast forward through this part. But it was so much fun. I'm exploring some different mediums and stuff these days, so I'm really excited about that. And this background is super cool, and I am so excited to explore more different backgrounds in the future. I'm just having so much fun, like, brainstorming about it and things like that. I just have so many great ideas, you guys. So then I did this really satisfying peel of the tape. Look at that! My edges are perfect. They're so gorgeous. Wow. So then I created the same mixture again as we used for the flowers, and now we're going to be dividing this into two. One is going to be leaf and stem, which is green, and then the other one's going to be the background flowers, which is going to be a purple with a little bit of green mixed in. Now for this green, I went in with a chartreuse, but then I also added some phthalo green because I really wanted to brighten it up and make it really pop. And then the tip that I'm using for the leaf is a 127, and then the background flower tip is going to be 1M. And that's a tip that I love to use for a lot of different things, especially for background flowers. It has a very consistent flow, so it creates a very circular flower every time, but how much pressure you add or how much color you put in the bag or what color mixture, like I'm doing right here, very random, it just, you can get so many different looks with just one tip, just from being, you know, a little creative with it. So I love it a lot. So here I'm going to create a little stem, and I'm kind of creating a slight curve shape, but I'm also making sure it's not too perfect. But I did make the perfect leaf, and I'm so proud of myself, and I love this leaf so much. And did it just happen and I was lucky that the bright green went to the edges of the leaf? Yes, but you know, sometimes the universe smiles at all of us. So today was my day. So then I did my background, and you can see the green just very barely kind of melts through with the lilac. It is just such a great color combo, you guys. I love it so much, and I'm definitely going to use it again in the future. I loved making this video so much because I discovered so many new things that I want to try more of. So please keep on telling me in the comments what you want to see from me, because I love interacting with you. I love responding with videos and creating new things that you request. It's so much fun for me. And I just learned so much stuff about myself and about new techniques and all kinds of cool stuff. And my list of videos I want to create for you guys just keeps growing. The more I make, the more I want to make. So it's really a lot of fun. It's a great hobby for me to have. even though I am currently sitting in a hotel room and waiting for my household goods to arrive in Japan. I did send myself a couple items in the mail before we left so that I wouldn't have to be too bored, and I did ship myself 2 bags of Gaffrey paint and a couple other things like watercolor. I shipped myself some piping bags and things like that. So I'm really excited when the addiction is like really strong. Then I'll break open all my paints and everything, and I'll create some cool stuff, and maybe I'll even video it for you guys, and we'll see what I end up making. But look at this painting. Isn't she so pretty? Oh, so pretty. And then here she is wet or still drying. The flowers are obviously dry. And then in the sunlight, look at that sparkle. Oh my gosh, that is just so cool. And that is a lot of 3D texture, okay? You cannot tell me that this is much different from any Gaffrey painting I've done. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Try this technique. I love you so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!